The roads look good at this point this morning. There are no crashes or slowdowns, but there are about a dozen delays at the airport this morning. We'll get into those details in just 4 minutes. Take a look here. No issues in the traffic center. Really nothing on the roadways this morning that will slow you down if you're getting ready to head out the door. So take that great news to start out your day. Let's get you a live look outside. Here's the view on the Poplar Street Bridge. Just like on all of our downtown bridges at this point in the morning, there are no issues. Here's the view on the Blanchette Bridge for those of you coming in from the St. Charles area. We see some flashing lights here, but this is looking west. Looks like those are in the construction zone there, so nothing really to worry about. If you're coming in from West County, maybe through the Clayton area, 64 is clear this morning as well. And a beautiful view here for those of you driving up from Jefferson County. Take a look at this sunrise at 55 at Revis Barracks, so enjoy that while you can. 70 right in front of the airport is also good this morning, but there are some problems in the skies. Take a look at this live picture right now at Lambert. You see some Southwest planes there lined up ready to take off. We do see one delay with Southwest, but really a lot of the delays this morning are with Cape Air. Actually about a dozen delays. 7 coming in and about 6 heading out of town. So be sure to check in with your airline if you hope to be on one of those flights this morning. Corey, Emily, back to you. In the Missouri area, there are really no problems, but for those of you in Illinois, we are watching out for you across the river in Madison County, where there's a report of an overturned tractor trailer 70 eastbound right at mile marker 28. Here we see that slowdown heading west. Probably some people turning around to look and check out what's going on, and we're checking out what's going on too. Sky Zoom 4 is going to go check it out, and we'll bring you an update as soon as we can. But as you get closer to the downtown bridges, you won't run into any problems. Good news here. The Poplar Street Bridge, Stan Musial Veterans Memorial, all those still look good at this point this morning. Let's get you a live look outside for those of you coming up from Interstate 55. South County, Jefferson County, your commute should be pretty easy at this point. 64 is starting to have some volume, but pretty typical at this point in the morning commute, and really no issues for anyone coming in from St. Charles County either. 73, 64, 64, all those routes look great. Emily, Corey? Over here in the traffic center, the only real issue is over in Illinois in Madison County. This is kind of in the Saline area. There was an overturned tractor trailer heading eastbound on Interstate 70, but you see that slowing things down heading westbound as well. I understand that that crash is in the median in a construction zone, so just be aware, be cautious, give those workers a little extra time as you're heading through that area. When we take a look out wide, no real other issues throughout the major interstates on our St. Louis roads. No real issues on our downtown bridges either. You see traffic moving across the Poplar Street Bridge pretty nicely right here. As Emily was talking about in Kent as well, we're starting to see a little bit of cloud cover, and you can see that in a lot of these pictures here in St. Charles County. 270 at Doherty Ferry traffic is starting to pick up. But if you take a look right here, 55 in Bayless, that sun's starting to peek out right there for these commuters, but no real issues with that sunshine this morning. One last note for those of you coming up on 55, as I mentioned, you'll see the sun, but no other slowdowns. Emily, Corey? And we are watching out for your morning commute, whether it's on the roads or you're going to hit the skies. And you should know there is a crash in Madison County that we're closely monitoring. We'll get you a live picture from Sky Zoom 4. Good news, though, no slowdowns. However, about a dozen flight delays at Lambert. All those details coming up in just 4 minutes. Quick note here on the airport, there are about a dozen delays, half of them coming into St. Louis, the other half leaving town. A lot of those delays are on Cape Air. We're taking a live look here at Lambert right now, but I did notice Southwest in that list, so be sure you check in with your airline if you plan to head to the airport. As far as the roads go, they're pretty quiet this morning. That nice cloud cover is helping prevent any sunshine slowdown, and as I mentioned, not really too many people out on the roads just yet, whether it's 44, 270, even 64, 55, all of them look good at this point. Taking a look at the map out wide, really no issues, no slowdowns. We're only monitoring that one issue out in Madison County, and that is where Sky Zoom 4 is this morning. Mark Griffin is checking on that overturned tractor trailer. Mark, I see it right there in the median, so what can you tell us?
Well, Paige, Sky Zoom 4 first on the scene here at Interstate 70 and about mile marker 28. This is just to the east of Silver Lake, for those familiar with the area, right around Highland. And as you can see, a Tyson chicken truck has driven into the median and turned over onto its side, not causing a big traffic backup right now. This is a construction area, so folks who are familiar with this are used to delays, and it's really not causing much more of a delay than you're seeing right now. I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer. You can see Illinois State Police are working this, but again, not a large delay, just a few folks slowing down to watch this. Now, at some point, tow trucks are here, and they will have to shut down the highway to upright this vehicle.
Okay, Mark, we will continue monitoring that. Thanks for the closer look. Emily, back to you now. And a lot of good news out of the traffic center this morning. There are no crashes or slowdowns or even airline issues, but there are some construction changes on a major St. Louis interstate that you need to know about. I'll detail that in just 4 minutes. And heads up for those of you who take Interstate 55, 44 through downtown St. Louis. It is now down to one lane heading northbound. So just be aware in that construction zone. It's been a squeeze lately anyway, and now it is down to one lane on the approach to the Poplar Street Bridge all the way down to the Walnut exit. And of course, that construction continues all the way across the Poplar Street Bridge. So many of you are used to that by now. And the good news at this point is there are no slowdowns or issues on the approach to any of the bridges across from Illinois. Really no issues throughout the St. Louis area, so that's good news. You can take it easy getting out on the roadways this morning. For those of you coming to St. Louis City or the St. Louis County from St. Charles, know that all of your routes in look great this morning. 73, 64, and 64 are all clear. And good news even at the airport lately, we've been seeing quite a few delays. There are only 3 slight delays heading out of town. Everything coming into town is on time, so good news there. Emily, Corey, back to you. And what's really nice is your morning commute is still dry, and it should be dry for a little bit now. I have some other good news to share with you. So earlier I told you that Interstate 5544 right on the approach to downtown heading northbound was down to one lane in that construction zone. It is now back open to 2 lanes, so you'll have a little bit more room to get through there, whether you're coming downtown or then getting onto the Poplar Street Bridge. We're starting to see some people hop on Interstate 270 here at Doherty Ferry, but no issues there, really no issues throughout the St. Louis area. The commute on this Friday morning looks pretty smooth. This slight slowdown here is just that construction zone that I've been talking about, but really the downtown bridges still look pretty good at this point. Also, flights in and out of Lambert are looking good. There are only about 3 delays heading out of town. They're all very minor. Everything coming into St. Louis is still on time. Emily, Corey, back to you. A lot of clouds in the skies, but not a lot of cars on the roads this morning. Take a look at kind of a couple cool views here with the clouds and the sun peeking out behind them. Right now, you'll have a dry and pretty smooth commute. We'll get you an update in just 4 minutes. Not a lot going on the roads this morning, so I'll try to keep this quick. Let's take you outside to give you a couple live pictures, just so you know that construction zone here in 55 northbound where 44 comes together. Heading into downtown, it was down to 1 lane overnight. It is back to 2, so that's good news there. Plenty of people starting to hit the roads on 270. Of course, your typical company out there. Very quiet out in St. Charles County. You can see not a lot of people on 364 here. 70 and 64 coming in from St. Charles also look good. Ken showed you that beautiful sunrise in Sullivan. Take a look at this beautiful sunrise in the Fenton area. 44 also looks good this morning. Let's get you a quick look at your drive times and speeds. No issues on 70, 64, or 44. Even the downtown bridges look really good at this point. No issues on the Poplar Street Bridge. Emily, Corey, back to you. We have our first major traffic incident of the morning. There is a crash on Interstate 55 southbound. Looks like only 1 lane of traffic getting through. A lot of police lights responding to that incident there. We'll try to get more information and bring you an update in just 4 minutes. Thank you, Kent. Let's get you a quick update on the 2 traffic incidents that we are monitoring at this point. So there is still that stalled vehicle on Interstate 64 heading eastbound right at Memorial Drive. That could slow some of you down. The other issue was a crash on Interstate 55 heading southbound right at Bayless. I want to show you a live picture on the scene. I just watched a fire truck and it looked like another ambulance leave the scene. Now traffic is getting through. That was down to 1 lane, but whether this was a minor incident or police cleared it very quickly, good news for commuters, and hopefully whoever was involved in that crash is doing okay. There are still a couple police officers on scene there, so just be aware if you're driving southbound on Interstate 55 at Bayless this morning. We are seeing volume start to pick up here on Interstate 270 at Doherty Ferry, but no issues and not really slowing down, just you'll have plenty of company out there. Also, no issues on any of our downtown bridges, really. A slight slowdown on the Eads, but the Poplar still looks good this morning. Stan Musial Veterans Memorial also looks good. Corey and Emily, back to you now. Thank you, Ken. So the roads are still dry, and most of you heading toward the city won't really run into any problems, but we are still monitoring this one issue on Interstate 55 southbound. So this is right at Bayless. There was a report of a crash there. This looks to be the scene, and we saw a couple fire trucks leave the scene, but there are still police officers there. Traffic is getting through, but if we take a look just north of this incident, this is the view at Weber. Looks like police do still have 2 of the right lanes closed. So just be aware if you're heading southbound on Interstate 55, you might run into a slight slowdown and a couple lane closures right there in that area. Other than that, the other issue is a stalled vehicle that we're monitoring 64 eastbound right at Memorial Drive. It doesn't seem to be slowing people down too much. Other than that, no real issues. Even Interstate 270 right at Doherty Ferry looks pretty good at this point. The other downtown bridges are still pretty good. The Eads is slightly slow, and here's that slowdown now that we're starting to see right across the Poplar. You can see a little bit of a heavier volume than earlier this morning. Of course, that's typical. So many of you used to that now as this construction there continues across from Illinois. Emily and Corey, back to you.